The Arizona Wildcats win the game against the Washington Huskies 57 to 53. Um, the Arizona Wildcats were away, so it was home 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 court advantage for the Washington Huskies. Um, and the Washington Huskies had a really hard time with their three pointers. They only made one, and it was Wilcox that made that one 3 pointer. Um, so I don't know, they just couldn't get comfortable for some reason, and I think our guys, it's like Sean Miller was saying, um, the U of A Wildcats played really, really good defense, I guess, and that's why they were only U of A was only down by 5 points at halftime. I think it was 38 to 33. But the uh, the thing that totally killed the Wildcats in the beginning was the amount of turnovers. I think we had like 12 or 13 turnovers in the first half, and Sean Miller usually uh, is okay with about 12 turnovers a game, so not 12 turnovers in one half. So anyway, with 12 turnovers in the first half, then it's kind of surprising that we weren't that the U of A Wildcats weren't down as much as they could have been. Um, the Washington Huskies only had 6 turnovers in the first half, but anyway, we did pretty good because of our defense. And what I think that one thing that stopped the Washington Huskies, was they could not get inside. They could not dribble penetrate and get inside. They were doing that in the beginning. They were getting inside just no problem, and making their shots no problem at all. But the U of A Wildcats, I guess, stopped allowing that to occur, and because I think we're at one time we were down. The U of A was down. It was like the score was 16 to 5 or something like that. So it was pretty bad. I thought the Washington Huskies, if they kept taking it inside, then we were going to be in for a world. The Wildcats were going to be in for a world of hurt. But um, they I guess they couldn't keep going inside. Maybe there was something that was bothering them. But I mean, if you look at Wilcox, he had 4 fouls. Gaddy had 2 fouls. And I had 2 fouls. Simmons had 3 fouls. So all of the Huskies had quite a few fouls, and maybe that's why they were a little bit apprehensive about, uh, trying playing defense and trying to keep the defense, um, trying to keep the Wildcats from dribble penetrating. Because one thing that I enjoyed about the Wildcats was that they passed it around. They were passing it around pretty nicely, but then after a while, then they figured then after the after a few passes, then they would try and either they would dribble penetrate, or sometimes they tried that three-pointer. And the three-pointers, just like for the Washington Huskies tonight, the three-pointers were not really falling for the Arizona Wildcats either. I think we only made 3 out of 18, and I'm looking at the stats on the ESPN.com website. It shows that we made 3 out of 18 three-point attempts. And another thing that I always look at, and another thing that I always look at is the amount of free throw attempts. If I feel like if we get around 20 free throw attempts, which we had 19 free throw attempts, then uh, I feel like we played a pretty good game, a pretty strong game, because I think free throw attempts that kind of means that your players are going inside. They're trying to dribble penetrate. They're getting inside. They're using the using. They aren't afraid to. They aren't going to back down uh, to the defense of the other team. Um, and if you look at the amount of steals, the U of A Wildcats had 4 steals, and the Washington Huskies had 5 steals. So it wasn't necessarily that on our dribble penetrations we were getting the ball stolen so much. I think it was more of just we were, um, just being accidentally making mistakes and causing turnovers. We were causing our own turnovers. It wasn't like the Washington Huskies were uh, reaching out and grabbing for the ball. But so we had 10 offensive rebounds, and let's see. Parham usually has 3 offensive. He usually has around 3 offensive rebounds, but I only show that he had 1 offensive rebound. Um, Tarzuski had 3 offensive rebounds, so he was a big contributor, and Brendan Ashley had 3 offensive rebounds too, so he did pretty darn good. So it was our freshman, I think, that made big contributions inside the key. Um, let's see, Grant Jarrett, how many? He didn't get any offensive rebounds, but he did get 2 defensive rebounds. So um, the freshman did contribute quite a bit on their rebound board, uh, and so that was another strength of ours. We did end up. I think we beat the Washington Huskies by 1 total rebound. I think it was like 35 to 34, or it might have been 35-35. So it might have been equal on the rebounds thing, and that was a big killer. Years past, that's why Sean Miller has never won in Washington is because their second chance opportunities just would not stop, and Washington Huskies were able to score on those second chance opportunities, no problem. Um, Another thing that the Washington Huskies did good actually was they had 10 assists, and we only had 7 assists. So um, they were playing more team ball than we were, especially in the first half. And Sean Miller was saying is he said that we were playing more individual ball in the beginning, and it's kind of like what happened against UCLA is if we're starting to do more individual ball, um, in the beginning, then we're going to go down. We're not playing team ball, and it's going to hurt us. And that's so we were hurt pretty bad. We were down by 11 at least in the first half, but the Wildcats did straighten did did right the ship and did start playing team ball, and the U of A Wildcats won this game 57 to the Washington Huskies 53.